Welcome to Yummy Beat Part 2. Some big bombs are going off here. Luton and Bedford's finest, Rushden. Joe, Part 1. Remember my angles with my spinal condition? I can't never get the seating right and the angles of. But remember, it's not my story. It's my cousin's, Joe's. You got me. So this is Part 2. We've reeled them the lost years after the pro fight and the injuries, blah, 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 the 22 years, the doorman stuff, the West End stuff. All the things he saw are coming right now in Part 2. Joe, where we left off. All right, so the injuries stopped you from starting your professional career, basically.
Yeah.
After the 14 fight, 18 fight amateur career.
Yeah.
Right. Door work first or the West End?
I think we start 1989.
89.
89 is when
I
went into the West End.
Let's go.
I walk into the West End. I'm seeing all the bright lights.
Where?
Soho.
Soho, yeah.
Piccadilly Circus. I'm looking around. I'm thinking, wow, this place is magical, man.
Yeah.
And I haven't got a job. I'm living in London, Kennington. I don't know if you know it, South East
Yeah.
London. I'm leaving my ex there. I need to get a job. I'm thinking, this is a great place. This is just fabulous, you know? So I walk into Soho. As I'm walking into Soho, I see this Curzon Cinema. Do you remember the Curzon Cinema?
Nah.
Shaftesbury Avenue.
I was probably away.
Back in the day, I walked in. I said, "You got any jobs going?" And they look at me like I've got two heads. They went, "No, I'm sorry, mate. We've got no jobs going on here." So I'm thinking, okay. And I see this street, and it's called Berwick Street. I don't know if you've ever been in Soho, but I can see Raymond's Review Bar and the lights all flashing at the top. And I'm thinking, wow, what a place. And I'm walking towards. It's almost like I'm drawn to the place, yeah. So I walk to the place, and there's a guy standing on the corner. I think it's the Madame Jojo's at the time. I don't know if you remember Madame Jojo's.
No, I don't.
Piano bar. He's standing there, and he's got spats on, and he's got a bow tie. He looks really smart, and he looks really cool. So I said to him, "Excuse me, mate. Is there any jobs going around here?" And he looks at me, and he said, "Yeah." He goes, "Try Raymond's Review Bar down the alleyway." I was thinking, okay. I thought, yeah, I'll give it a go. I walk in, and there's this guy called Tony. He's got a bright waistcoat, gold waistcoat, and he's very theatrical, you know, really sort of larger than life character.
A bit like me.
Yeah, a bit like you, Yami.
I know what that sounds like.
So I walk in there, and I said to him, I'm really sorry. I said, I'm actually looking for a job. Is there any jobs going around here? And he looks at me, and he said, he goes, yeah. He says, there is actually. He says, the doorman we've got at the moment isn't doing a really good job. He said, I'm thinking about sacking him. He said, do you want a door job? I was like, yeah. He goes, yeah, be here tomorrow at 6 o'clock. You start tomorrow, 6 o'clock till 12 on the door. I was getting £110 a week, cash. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of money, but it's prestige of working in that kind of place. But at least I was getting some.
What was it? Club, stroke, bar, not that.
Back in the day,
had a reputation for.
Raymond's Review Bar was probably the biggest strip club.
Is it?
Yeah, Raymond's Review Bar. Yeah, before you had all the fucking, all the other spearmint rhinos and all that. That was the place, and it was all by Paul Raymond owned it.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
And yeah, he was the Pawn King of Soho.
I thought I'd heard that name somewhere before.
Yeah. So anyway, I got the job. And I loved it. I worked there, for a little while, and working on the door. And that's when I got into my pro boxing at that time, just a couple of years before then. So I loved working in Soho. I loved the people, the area. It was all kind of like a little village. Everyone knew everyone, you know what I mean? You had a little kebab shop opposite.
The regulars.
Mario's little sandwich bar just down. So everyone knew everyone. So it was really kind of like, it made you feel welcome.
Yeah.
That's what I really loved it. And I was there for a little while, and then on the door, I got promoted to work on the bar because I was good with figures, and Tony was like, "You're pretty good with figures, aren't you?" So I worked on the bar, then I worked in the box office, which was really, really good because I earned a lot of money in the box office, and I didn't know at the time, but they did scams, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. You used to have the Japanese tourists come in and watch the Raymond Review Bar show.
Right.
You had two shows. You had one at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
You had one at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you had groups like Keone Travel, for instance. They would come from Japan, and they'd bring all their people over and come to see the 8 o'clock show. So they'd always have front row tickets. So A, B, C, D. They would have all the best tickets, right?
They all got the yen, the currency.
Yeah, so the Japanese
loved
loved it. Yeah, so I remember one day working behind, there was me, there was a girl called Alex working there, Stuart, who was the general manager, and another guy called Tony. And And what they used to do is they used to give you the ticket so you could go upstairs, right? One particular night, I can't remember which of the managers, I'm not going to get him into trouble or anything, but anyway, it's done. What's done's done now. He gave one of the ushers a white ticket, and he said, 30 people, just bring them up the stairs. So, you know, he's brought them up the stairs, whatever. And at the end of the night, there was some cash by my desk. And the manager goes, that's yours. I was like, well, what's that for? He goes, oh, that's perks of the job, don't worry, that's all yours. I'm like, oh, okay. So that was happening on a frequent basis. I was making a little bit. Now, I didn't realise, but at the time, what they were doing was that kind of money, I don't think was going into the pot. I think that was going into his pot. And what he did was he would take 75%.
Divvying it up.
Yeah, I only had a small percentage of it, nothing big.
But
I was
giving others as well,
so he was. So we was all getting a little bit of the pie, you know, and I was happy with that. I was earning a little bit, nothing great, but it was still helping.
Yeah.
And then one night I was working on the door, and the touts used to take punters from Raymond's Review Bar to other clubs. There were CD clubs. You remember the old CD clubs where you go down the stairs and you buy girl drinks and stuff like that? They were getting ripped off. So I was well known for that.
All right.
And we had to stop them. We had to stop them taking our punters because they were like our customers. I remember one night, one of the geezers said to me, how much are you earning? So I told him what. He goes, come on. He goes, come and work on the street, you'll make more money. I was like, no, I can't be doing that. And he goes, no, you'll earn more money. He goes, trust me, you'll earn a lot of money. Back then, it was like the good guys and the bad guys. We were the good guys and they were the bad guys. And I was thinking, I don't really want to be a bad guy. I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I wasn't earning a lot of money.
Yeah, but it was easy, not as much hassle.
Yeah, but plus you had to have a little bit of a gift of the gab as well, Yanni.
Yeah,
if you weren't very good.
Yeah, it helps.
But I was good with, I was good with that, and I didn't realise. But anyway, I went to a sandwich bar with one of the guys called Jerry, who was a tout. And he sat down and he said to me, how much are you earning? So I told him what I was earning, and he laughed at me. And he went, mate, he goes, what you earn in 1 week, you can earn in one night. And I thought, the guy's having a laugh, obviously. Anyway, as time got on, I wasn't enjoying myself at Raymond's Review Bar because I noticed that the money was getting a bit lighter. Manager was sending me out more into the street. He wasn't really kind of looking after me. And I thought, you know what, maybe it's time for me to go. And on the very last night, I'll never forget this, it was on a November night, I remember. I think it was probably 1990. I knew it was going to be my last night. It was a Friday night. They had a party upstairs.
Yeah.
There was a safe, a little safe, and there was about 20 grand in the safe. Probably about 5 grand in coins and 15 grand in cash. And I thought, shall I just take the cash and just 20 grand? I thought about it. I didn't do it.
Good man.
And the reason why I didn't do it was because that was only going to last me for so long. It wasn't going to last.
I would at that stage I would have nicked it.
So yeah,
but now I wouldn't.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, no, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, I left. As soon as I left, I became a pariah because basically, once you've crossed the line, you're on the other side now. It's like Man United and Man City, Arsenal and Tottenham. You know, you can't be going on to. But I did. I crossed the line. And I became a tout. Now I became very, very good at what I did. I teamed up with a guy called Tommy, who was a Mackham.
Yeah.
And we used to work together. So basically, when punters used to come, we used to take them to the clubs and the bars, and we would get the door money, as well as the commission for the drinks. So I'll give you an example. Let's just say you had a group of 4 guys in a taxi.
Yeah.
And they came to Raymond's Review Bar.
Yeah.
And we took them to another club. They would pay £15 each to get into the club. We'd probably get 12 quid a punter, so £24. Plus the commission of the drinks. If they were spent the drinks, we'd get 15%. So if they spent 300 quid on drinks or 400 quid on drinks, we'd get 55 quid. So we're looking at what? £79, £80 for one drop. Now don't forget, it's a long night.
You get 10 of them, you're in the game.
I had mates of mine working on the building site for £300 a week. I was making £400, £500 a night, sometimes more. Going into casinos, blowing it, coming back out again, making it again, going to Chinese restaurants at 4 o'clock in the morning, buying the best shoes that money could buy, buying Crombies, buying jewellery, it was just incredible. It was like a millionaire's. They say that London is paved with gold, the streets are paved, they were paved with gold that time. I was never worried about money, I was never worried about not earning because if I lost £1,000, I'd get it the next night. No big deal.
Yeah.
Money was just like commodity.
You had your eyes into the West End.
it
You
was just-
saw that
yeah.
nightlife, what it brings, the people that come. Easy come, easy
and,
go.
and the people and the Clippers. Now, people say,
The
what
Clippers,
Clippers?
explain Clippers. That's
Right.
I forgot about what Clippers meant, you know, until today.
Right. You got your prozzies, as you know, right?
Yeah,
And you got Clippers. Now, Clippers are different. Clippers are girls that will promise you sex,
Yeah.
but you won't get it.
So when they used to get me to wrap up, say, Yami, put that man in a hold and I'll go through his pockets. When I was out a couple of times, I went down in that windmills, them little bits of, I ain't been down somewhere that much. But I know what you're talking about because the girls would draw the men in, but they're not going to give them sex.
No, but what they'd do is they'd say to a guy, oh, you're looking for a girl? And the guy would go, yeah. And they'd say, right, okay, how long are you looking for? They'd say, oh, an hour or whatever. Okay, it's £300, but if you've got £100 deposit,
That's right.
you give them they'd give them the £100, and it's just wait there. I'm just gonna make sure everything's sorted out.
Yeah.
I've got to give the maid her money, blah blah blah, and then they just piss off with the money.
I know.
And the guy would be standing there like that,
Yeah.
looking.
Dangerous game.
And we always knew, me and my mate Tommy, we always knew when the guys got ripped off because they'd be looking up and down. I'd look at him and go, "You've been ripped off, mate."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah." Like,
Dangerous game.
Never trust a girl on the street.
Yeah, but dangerous game.
Dangerous game, yeah.
Because if you're bad-minded or real fucking student, you know where they're working, you can always come back.
But I mean, there's so many scams. I mean, I'll give you a really good one actually. I'm not going to mention names, obviously.
Yeah.
But there was a guy that used to sell a bit of, C, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I remember one particular occasion, me and Tommy were standing, and this guy's gone up to him and said, "Have you got any,
Yeah.
And the guy's gone, "Yeah,
Like they do.
what do you want?" Yeah, I think he wanted a wrap or something. Anyway, I think it was 40 or 50 quid or whatever it was. I see the geezer give him money, so he's put it in there and he's giving him the wrap. Now the geezer's gone.
Yeah.
And this is the funny bit. 5 minutes later, he's come back, and he's gone, "Mate, there was nothing in the wrap." So he's gone, "Yeah, so?" He goes, "I want my money back."
Gordon Bennett.
Right, so yeah, now.
I've seen that one.
So the guy's gone, "Well, what do you want me to do?" He goes, "I want my money." He goes, "No, fuck off, you're not getting your money." He goes, "No, I want my money." Go and tell that policeman.
Can't, can he?
Now, what's the guy going to do? He's going to go, "Excuse me, officer, I was trying to buy some coke off him." Job done.
Madness.
Yeah.
Nightlife.
Another time, this is funny, this one's funny, yeah. Me and Tommy are standing, we were near the coffee bar somewhere, and as at the corner of my eye, I clocked one of the geezers that used to sell stuff, yeah, and he was a bit of a scammer. And I said to Tommy, "Come with me, come and have a listen." As we've gone over, he's got this lemsip, and he's got it in his paper, and he's dabbing it like that. And the other geezer's dabbed it, and he's gone, "Yeah, but it's lemony, what are you talking about?"
Mad thing.
Now listen to this. The geezer's gone, "Yeah, but this is Colombian shit." He's gone, "No, but how comes it's yellow and it's not white?" He went, "Are you mad? Have you heard of pink champagne?" And the guy's gone, "Yeah." He goes, "This stuff doesn't come out of Colombia that often. Only the very, very elite get this."
Sounds like one of my speeches.
Now, listen to this. The geezer's gone, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, look, taste it again." He goes, "Yeah, it does taste a bit lemony." He goes, "Yeah, because that's because I use the natural ingredients in there." "Oh, give me some, I'll buy some off you." The best one. Me and Tosh are standing on the street, Tommy.
Yeah.
We're standing on the street. Some geezer's come over. I've never seen him before. He's a tourist.
Yeah.
You know what tourists are like.
Yeah.
And he's come up to me. I don't know why he's come up to me. He's gone, "Smoke?" I said, "No, I'm all right, mate." He goes, No, smoke." And I asked, "What are you talking about?" "No, I want to smoke." "Oh," I said, "You want to? You want like hashish?" Yeah. "Where can I buy?" I said, I said, "I can get it for you." I said, "But it's very expensive. It's Moroccan." Yeah. "How much?" I said, £40. He said, 40? I said, "Yeah, but it's the best." He said, "Okay." I said, "Well, listen, come back and see me in 5 minutes."
That old chestnut.
Yeah. I said, "I've got to see a man about a man, yeah?" Now listen to this, yeah.
Yeah.
He's gone, and my mate Tommy's gone, "What are you talking about?" He says, "You're not a dealer. Where are you going to get this shit from?" I said, "Come with me, come and learn." So we go to the 7-Eleven.
Oh,
right?
no.
And you know the spice rack, you've got
Yeah.
some oregano,
Yeah.
I think that was £1.49 or something, and then there was something else I mixed it with. Anyway, he's got oregano spices and all that. It cost me like £2.30. And those you remember those little blue plastic bags they used to give you? I used to pour it in there and tie it up in sort of little plastic blue bag. So the geezer's come over and he said to me, have you got it? I said, yeah. I said, have you got the money? He's paid me the money and I've given it to him. And he goes, he looks at it and he goes, is that? I said, yeah. He says, you put it, yeah, very good. He says, yeah. I said, yeah, go on. I said, anyway, he's gone now. And Tommy's gone, look, if he comes back, nothing to do with me, Joe. I want nothing to do with it. I said, yeah, but you want half the money though, don't you? Anyway, as luck would have it, yeah, I mean, the next night he turns up and he's walking down the road. Tommy spots him. He says,
see?
He's come back now. So I know I've got to front it out now, haven't I? So he's come back. He goes, my friend, how are you? I said, yeah. I said, you all right? So here we go. He goes, you have any more stuff?
Oh.
I said, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll get you some more.
Madness. What did he do to him?
I don't know. But I never saw him after.
No, but it does happen.
But you know what I mean? It's what I'm saying. That's
the
like
West End's deep.
The West End, yeah.
Oh, it was deep.
Doorways. I mean, there's so many. You know, a doorway is. Here's a good example. There used to be a place, Gerrard Street. It's a car park.
I know.
From the outside, it looks like a block of flats.
Yeah.
It looks like a big block of flats. I remember there was 2 American geezers that came over. They were looking for girls.
Yeah.
And a guy called JJ said to me, look, these guys are looking for girls. He goes, I'm going to go to the door by the lift. You bring them over to me and let me do the talking. At the time, I was a bit young, a bit naive. I didn't know what he was, but I just thought, okay, I'll do what he asked me to do.
Yeah.
We get to the door. I brought them over to him, 2 American guys. I said, these are the gentlemen that are looking for the 2 young ladies. So JJ's like, yeah, okay. So how long are you looking for? And they've gone, well, you know, an hour, 2 hours. Yeah, okay. It's £500 each, but it's a £100 deposit. He says, but you get that back at the end. So the guy's gone, okay, who do we pay? So I said, well, you pay that gentleman there. So they've given him the money, right? They've gone up in the lift. JJ's grabbed me. We've run down to the Spanish cafe to something to eat. We split up the money. We've divvied it all up. We've got like 500 each. And they've gone up into the lift.
Madness.
Car park.
Easy, right?
Easy money.
I know.
Yeah, back in the day, it was just always the people were just the tourists. It was like I remember someone saying to me, "You could be the expediter of their dreams." In other words, whatever tourists come, whatever they want, you can give it to them.
Yeah.
So if they wanted X, you could give them X. If they wanted Y, you could give them Y. Even if you haven't got it, you could just get it. Oh, I know someone who can get it for. Oh, don't worry, leave it.
It'd be the same if we was in their country.
Yeah,
and they would be approaching us.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, the only thing is we'll be a bit more savvy because we know that we played that part. Like, doesn't mean that it still can't happen to you. Let me drink some of that water. Carry on. Carry on.
So those were some of the scams that we did. And, you know, living day to day, we'd go into the bookies in the day, we'd go to casinos at night, we'd go, you know, we'd go to buy nice watches, jewellery, rings, we had it all, you know, we had it all. And we just blew it all and just, because we thought it would never end.
Yeah. So this was the period after...
Yeah, 1989, 1990, and then 1993, something happened.
Go on.
I was issued with a writ on the street, and the writ was issued by Paul Raymond. And Paul Raymond had issued 5 writs to 5 different touts. And we had to appear in the High Court of Justice.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Justice Harmon, I think it was. We then had to give evidence to prove that, you know, we hadn't taken their customers into different clubs and bars.
Yeah.
That's what they were accusing us of. Long story short, we were barred 300 metres from Raymond's Review Bar. If we had been caught within that, within the next year or 2, we could be arrested and go to jail.
Yeah.
So we basically had a banning order for 300 metres. We were not allowed to go 300 metres of the premises. Well, that's how it kind of stopped for me, because you couldn't really work further.
Nah.
Because you're too far away. If you've got punters looking at the light, you can't really walk up with them. Because
nah, you'd be on top.
So you kind of like, you're working further away from...
Yeah,
so,
where the main spot.
So it's difficult to make money.
Wow, and that's not a lot of distance, really.
No, but it was the main area.
It's the main area.
We struggled to make money after that. So, you know, what, I left the West End and then came back again. And then actually that leads me to 94, 95. 94, I went back to Bedford and I worked in a bar, rough bar as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of junkies and head cases, and that was a real mind fuck, I tell you. And then in '95, I went to Northampton. I worked at a place called The Lounge, which is a nightclub. I don't know if you heard of it.
No.
Yeah, it's a lounge. It was a nightclub, and I met my ex-wife there, and yeah, been on the door for 1 year. I had one fight in 1 year.
Easy going.
Yeah, that was the rave scene back then.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it was
That's
a
when
rave
Garage
scene.
was coming.
Yeah, everyone was like love and peace and all that. So yeah, it wasn't a hard job for me to do. It was an easy job working on the door. It wasn't difficult. Met some great characters there. Met some great people.
Anyone from down that way?
A guy called Austin. There was a guy called Eddie White that was, around the time he got stabbed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Really nice guy. I met some really great characters there in Northampton, and then I think I did a year there, and then I left again, and then I think I went back into the West End again. It was just mad. It was just crazy. Yeah. So yeah.
Did you suffer any real problems on the door, Joe? During that time?
I'd one incident with one guy, and I remember. Do you remember the old headsets I used to wear? With a little.
Yeah.
I used to wear one of those headsets. I was on the main entrance, and Austin was like over the radio. He was saying, "Don't let this Rastafarian guy in. He's trouble." So I could hear him. So he was coming up to the door, and I was like, "Sorry, mate, you're not allowed to come in." And he was kicking off, and he was saying, "Why? Are you being racist?" And I said, "No, I'm not racist." Anyway, I've just turned my head literally for 1 second, and I got hit. Got cut lip, and I was speaking to a guy called Snowy, who was the promoter, and I looked at him and I went, "I've been hit, haven't I?" And he went, "Yeah, you've been hit." I lost it. I went to grab the guy, and he ran, and I caught him, and as I've caught him, he's gone down, and I'm walking back to the club.
Yeah.
But what I didn't realise was Matey Boy's picked himself up. He's gone down the bottom, and those metal pylons that you see at the end of the road or whatever, he smashed the bottle on it.
Yeah.
And he's come back at me with the bottle. I sensed something wasn't right because I could hear the smash. But quick as a flash, I don't know why I did it. I unhooked, those ropes with the metal poles.
Yeah.
I unhooked that. I got the metal pole, and I was just chasing him with it, and he had the bottle in his hand, and I was ready for him, and he ran off.
Yeah.
And then someone else tried to jump in. I threw the metal pole, and I was ready to swing at him. And then all the doormen tried to jump on me, and I just threw them all off me.
Wow.
And the only guy that could control me was Austin. Now Austin's like 6'7", and he was
Yeah.
huge. And even he was struggling to hold me because he'd never seen me.
Wow.
One time I flipped out. The only time I flipped out because I just had enough of the shit. I was, I thought I ain't taking any shit.
Was that the worst thing that ever happened to on the door, though?
Yeah. I mean, that was the only time I ever got hit. I've never.
Good social skills.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I prided myself on. I don't like to shout too loud.
Yeah.
If you shout too loud all the time, nobody wants to hear you.
No.
If you shout all loud once, now and again, people take more notice of you.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. I'm not, I like to be licensed.
Yeah.
But people haven't seen that side of me. When they did, it was like, wow.
Mm.
Joe can handle himself,
Yeah.
So yeah, the West End was really kind of like, there was a lot of, I don't know, you made money, but it wasn't like making decent money. I think, looking back on that now, if I'd have worked, it would have been better because I would have appreciated money more.
Yeah.
It was too easy. It was too easy to make that money.
Yeah.
It was too easy. I mean, I remember one time we went to a casino, me and Tommy, and we were cheating in the casino.
Yeah.
And you were like, how are you cheating in the casino? Well, what we did was we would look for weak dealers, especially on roulette, and we'd watch the pitbull bosses because they'll be watching the dealers and they'll be watching us. And when they play roulette, I don't know if guys know this, but there's a layout. And on the layout, you put your chips on. And if you bet on the bottom 3 sections, you get paid out at 2 to 1. Now, if the ball lands on number 2, for instance, that's the middle section. Now, human nature would say that when the ball lands on that number, that the dealer would be looking at the chips that are laid on that number 2. So your eye contact would be drawn to that. But if you're really, really, really quick, you can flip a chip onto that middle section at the bottom.
And you'll miss it.
And you'll miss, hopefully, if you're quick enough.
You've
And we did that quite a few times, and we got away with it. And then one time we went into the Golden Nugget. I remember it. I remember at Shaftesbury Avenue.
I remember South.
We went in there, and the manager goes, "You can't come in anymore." I was like, "Why not?" He goes, he said, "You're too lucky." And I went, "Yeah." I said, "We were just lucky." He goes, "Yeah, you can't be lucky every night, son." We got barred. We got barred from the Palm Beach casino as well.
Better be Nicks.
But we were snatching money here, there, and everywhere. We were snatching money here, there, and everywhere. You know, it was like, yeah, it's
No stints in prison, Joe.
nice stints in prison.
Did well, mate.
Yeah, but I did get nicked for one particular time. This is funny. I was working in a bar. It was one of them hostess bars, and I was like collecting the money.
Yeah.
And these guys came in. My mate brought them in, and I think their bill was like £700 anyway. So they paid it, but they were ranting and raving about it. And the police came down. And the police came down with one of them about an hour later and said, right, you were nicked. I said, what, me? He goes, yeah, you were nicked. I said, for what? He said, demanding money with menaces.
Big charge, you know.
Yeah, so they nicked me. And I spent a night in the jail. The next morning I got the interview and they were saying to me, you know, what happened? And I said, well, I don't know if you guys know, but there's actually a camera in the club. I said, and if you view it, you'll see that they paid me, but I didn't actually threaten them, number one. Number two, you're saying that I kidnapped them. I didn't kidnap them. There was 3 of them. There's only 1 of me. They went out to get the money, and you can see quite clearly that, you know, I didn't threaten them or anything. He goes, well, how can you justify £700 for a bill? I said, you've got to remember something, guys. I'm just the barman. I do what I'm told. I collect the money. I don't make the prices.
Good speech.
Anyway, CPS dropped the charges.
Yeah. Oh.
So it was one time I remember getting nicked twice in one day. I got nicked for going through the barrier at Piccadilly Circus,
cool.
not paying a train fare, and then they nicked me the same afternoon for touting.
Gordon Bennett.
So yeah, it's like some hard times there, but I've spent some nights in the cells, but it never freaked me out. It never freaked me out. Some people will ring the bell all the time. Me, I like go to sleep. I wouldn't. I wasn't. I would. You know what? I was just like, no, I can handle it. Because once you're in it, there's nothing you can do.
You do, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, once you're in it,
Exactly.
it doesn't matter about you ringing the bell. It doesn't. They don't care.
But they never charge you or nothing, Joe.
No, I've had a few incidents.
Oh,
like that.
look at you.
Yeah.
Right.
This is my little girl.
Oh, it's a little girl. Gordon
Yeah,
Bennett.
no.
I always gave her on.
Little Nao. What's
her
going
eyes.
on now? She's hungry.
I was going to say, Joe, so what about Luton, Bedford?
Luton, Bedford. Nah,
I heard they were proper rivals back in the day.
back in the day, Luton and Bedford were rivals, but I was kind of like on the peripheral. I
Yeah.
wasn't really there. Most of my time was London, Northampton. I mean, you've been in the West End. You've done
Yeah,
some
but
things,
only
haven't you?
fleetingly, yeah, Joe. Only fleet. I remember a couple of times when you bringing back Wimble Street and Soho. A couple of nights I was out for a few weeks.
Where was that? No, if you don't mind me asking, where was that place that you was it a Tiara thing that you did or something? Where was that?
That was opposite the Royal Albert Hall. That was Albert
Okay,
Mansions.
so
that
that
was
was London,
like
yeah?
Kensington. Yeah.
So
The West End was more for me. I only frequented a couple of times when I went on a few robberies or they called me out. You had me look, come out when I said
So yeah, but what did you? Hang on a minute. So this is what I don't get. Was it a tiara? That you actually was it a tiara?
Yeah, something like that, Joe. But Joe, this is your interview, boy. It's not
yeah.
mine, my boy. They know all about that bit already.
Just curious.
Oh, Joe, yeah, of course. Oh, but Joe, listen. So Luton, Bedford, have we covered all those little bits there? All right, the time frame thing from 92 to 90. So you've got to about 2000-ish.
Yeah.
And obviously, then we get back to you, the loss. So there must have been some other years missing though.
Yeah.
Before you made the comeback where you had the fights with Manny and all that kind of stuff.
So
There must have been a bit more stuff there because you've covered about 8 or 9 years.
Yeah. So 93, like I said, I got the band. 94 went to Bedford. 95 went to Northampton.
Gotcha.
96 I did go back to the West End again.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it wasn't as good back then. It was getting worse. Every time I go back to the West End, it was getting worse. The clubs were getting shut down. More people were getting nicked. It was a lot harder, and also
changed in it again.
It's changed because you had the what do you call it? The tuk-tuk bikes now as well. You know the guys on the what do you call them? They're like bikes and they take people around.
Guides? No.
It was not guides. I can't remember what they're called, but anyway, life was just more difficult after. When we went back to the West End, but it wasn't as easy. It wasn't as easy.
Yeah.
You know,
More cameras everywhere by that time as well.
There was more gay bars.
More vigilant.
Yeah, a lot of the video shops got shut down. They were trying to clean up Soho.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. in the early, I think it was the early 2000s, basically.
Yeah.
So I still went to the West End after 2000, probably till 2006. Well, no, tell a lie. I actually got a straight job in Bedford in 2000, from 2000 to 2004.
Did you, Joe?
Yeah, I worked in a call centre.
Security.
Call centre.
Oh, answer salesman.
And then I became a call centre manager.
Good and bad.
Yeah, then I worked at the Ideal Time exhibition for Bose Wave Radio CDs. I was advertising those.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a good job.
Love life, kids, nothing.
Yeah, got one boy, Harry.
One boy.
Harry.
Okay.
I think he's 34 now. Can't believe it. Time's just flown by like that. Love him to bits.
For all that, because he's going to come back on the show more times than not. My cousin Joe. Joe, you got from that life anyway, Joe. The doorman stuff, the fighting stuff. A lot of friends lost. People you thought was thing.
The one thing I think I will say is that people keep your circle smaller now.
Yeah.
I've been hurt a lot, and I've been very naive in trusting the wrong sort of people. And some people mistake my kindness or weakness. And I think I've been, used in that sense, that people take advantage. And I've been quite weak in that respect because I do trust people. Yeah. I've trusted the wrong people.
I know what you mean, Joe.
So, we've all been there. We've all been double-crossed at some point. But life is a lesson. And as I've got older, I've realised, you can't please everybody all the time.
No. And
nobody's going to be there 100%. Sometimes you think they've got your back and they haven't. And, so life is is a mystery, as they say.
How are you feeling today, though, Joe?
I'm feeling good. Good. Yeah. The interviews are brilliant. Your interviews are brilliant.
I'm getting better by the day in some respects. But we just take our journeys, the slow journey. We're just doing it Uncle Yabby's way until we go bang and everything.
So you see now, I'm 58 now. So
you've got a lot of experience. It's a powerful story. You need to get that in a book because there's a lot of ingredients. He's going to come back. Don't worry about that. We've left out little bits so we get because I missed out on a couple of interviews last week with the graphics and all that.
But I'm doing walking football now.
You did walking football,
and I love Rushden. Rushden is my town. I've been living here 2 years, and the guys that I play football with at Rushden, they're amazing. They're amazing, real good friends. I mean, it's surprising from one town. Bedford's only like 15 minutes away. I know a lot of people down there, but the guys down here, I don't know what it is about the town or the people. They're so different, I don't know whether you experienced it.
Is it, Joe?
It's just that people are just different.
Decent, or maybe it's because you found decent people away from certain other lives. It's part of it, Joe. I've found that in a bit now. I'm starting to work that bit out. But that means that you can spot now where the love is and where community spirit, where everybody's just happy to be where they are at in life.
People shake your hands to say hello to you. You didn't get that. Whereas there was always some sort of, I don't know.
No.
It's almost like someone has said something and your name is, once your name's blackened. Yeah. It's very hard to.
Yeah, but it's black in other people's. I can't be bothered to try and persuade people. Nor should you. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your life.
That's what
your story. They're not going to be there when you get buried.
Well, you just said what my missus has said.
It's their stuff. That's what I realised in the end. You can't change people's minds and opinions about. We soften with age. Like, I don't look at things. You don't look at things the way that we once looked at. I look at things and think, how could I have thought that?
Yeah, you don't look 25 though, do you?
No, you're better looking than me, Joe. That's what I'm saying. But I tell you what, Joe, I'm after Matt Legg. I don't like the way he put you down in sparring.
Yeah, no.
I've got to be honest, my boy.
If you can take Matt
I never knew that, Matt.
Yeah, with a cheeky little shot.
No, I'm coming, Matt. I'm coming. I know I'm 10 stone like him. I'll be having a go. I'm coming back to you. But Joe, it's been an absolute pleasure seeing you today. And obviously, you'll be back on when we get the studio up. When the game is on now, it's going to be on, and Joe will come back and be sharing more of his experiences, much more other stuff about his life story as well. That we just brought these little things to the table.
Just a little taster.
And Sherry let me have his little taster today.
Little taster for you guys.
But it's my cousin and I love him. And Matt Legg, I'm after you. All right, Joe, I love you. My boy. All right. See you lot soon, right? Loads of love, and I'll be up later on. I hope you like Saturday.